квартиру.
Немножечко хрень. Он немножечко прыгнул.
Now we are currently sailing out of the New Canal, which was struck out 350 years ago in order to establish a link between the ocean and the Kingston Square, which we just left behind, otherwise known in Danish as Kongens. Back then it was more of a murky sailors' area, teeming to the very brim with sailors, alcohol, fights, and ladies of the night. But it's changed a lot in the years since then, become a popular spot here in Copenhagen where we see a lot of activity throughout the summer. Folks from all over the world visiting, as well as Danes, to enjoy a walk alongside the sunny side of Nyhavn, as it's known in here on our left-hand side, catching the rays of the sun, even late in the day, as you can see now. We also have here on our left-hand side a large black building. This is the Royal Danish Playhouse, which opened in 2008 with the famous words, "To be or not to be," because of course it opened with Shakespeare's Hamlet. The reason why it opened with Hamlet is because Hamlet takes place in a Danish castle known as Cornwall, which you could always visit a little further north in the city of Elsinore if you want to immerse yourself in Shakespeare's storytelling. The building itself was designed by Lundgaard and Tarnberg, a Danish architect who were in part inspired by Venice when they decided to install the wooden posts on the underside. They also gave it a clever cooling system entirely reliant on its position near the harbour. Whenever the building becomes too warm, they pump in cool seawater through the building in order to cool it back down. Over on our right-hand side, we have an ongoing construction project here in the Paper Island, to be finished in 2025. An array of new beautiful apartments and condos, as well as a new indoor swimming facility. The condos will be available at soaring prices between 5 to 40 million Danish crowns. But quite simply, I will never live there. Directly ahead of the boat now, we have a large building with an even larger roof. This is the Opera House, dating back to 2005. A gift from the Mask Company, divided into 14 stories, 5 of them beneath the water surface. The building was designed as a well-crafted love letter to the musical arts, and you can see that even from the outside. Just now we're slowly making our way up to the outer shell of the main auditorium, which is clad in maple wood, the very same wood used for string instruments, layered, as you can see, like the strings across an instrument as well. Beyond it, beyond the window panes here, we have the red walls of the main auditorium, which is shaped as an anatomically correct human heart to truly drive home that raw passion for music. We have 3 chandeliers hanging here as well, glittering beautifully. These are the 3 suns made by Olafur Eliasson, a Danish Icelandic artist, especially beautiful when reflecting the rays of a setting sun, just barely getting there, now here late in the day. And my favorite part of the building, which is the outer wall, consists of individual bricks each, which will produce a musical note when you knock on them. So with your mountains in flat Denmark, well, look no further. With its impressive height of 85 meters, it is the tallest mountain in Copenhagen, and it features its very own ski slope on top. So you can go skiing down the incinerator all year round, if you so please. You can even rent a pair of ski out there if you forgot your own at home. Why, on the other side, they even installed a climbing wall to the outside of the building. The tallest one you'll find in Europe. Truly is the closest you get to a mountain in Copenhagen. As we move our eyes from the background in here to our right to the foreground, you're going to notice we have a black submarine on the dock. This submarine is known as the Seal and was deployed in the Iraq War of 2003. It was instrumental in halting the import of weapons throughout the war and ended up here in the dock afterwards, where it became a museum. You can visit it throughout the summer if you want to see the inside of a submarine, or if you want to learn how it was like beneath the waves in 2003. We also have another war vessel in here on our right, grey in colour, F352, written on the side. This is a frigate known as Pillar's Ham, and it was deployed during the Cold War. It's a very famous vessel, not so much for the deployment, but rather for an accident that happened in 1982. The accident happened during a routine exercise when one of the men on board turned a faulty key. Off went a missile straight into a summer vacation spot. 134 summer houses were hit in the explosion, a total disaster by all accounts. But thankfully, nobody was present or hurt in the explosion. It was only structural damage. But a bit of a disaster nonetheless. And it ended up earning the official title, the Sea Missile. The vessel is open as a museum throughout the summer if you want to visit and learn more about the Roza missile, which fought in the Cold War. It was declared and decreed that here in Denmark the sun rises at 8 o'clock sharp and not a minute. These have been fashioned into student homes to better facilitate the travel to Copenhagen to the... Here you have her, ladies and gentlemen, on our right-hand side. It is, and a jump in the back if you want to catch it. Excellent timing, of course. And seen here on our right-hand side, we have, ladies and gentlemen, it is the very Little Mermaid. Now, the Little Mermaid, she's been sat here on her rock since 1913 and was originally a gift from the Carlsberg breweries. Specifically, it was the brewer Carl Jacobsen who fell in love with the character after seeing her in a ballet performance based on the popular narrative from Hans Christian Andersen. Since then, he decided to have her immortalized in statue form and put her on her rock, where she has been almost immortal ever since. Indeed, the Little Mermaid, she's a very accessible figure, as you can tell. Available for visits all throughout the day, all throughout the night. And as you might imagine, this level of accessibility, it does allow for a fair share of vandalism. Unfortunately, the mermaid has suffered throughout her life. She has lost her head twice, almost thrice, had an arm cut off twice, been bombarded in paint on numerous occasions, and throughout the entirety of COVID, why, she had a mask on every day. Always been a little lucky when we get out to this part of the tour and she's still intact. We have, coming up here on our right-hand side, a seaplane as well. Red and white detailing alongside the hull. This is one of two seaplanes that fly between Copenhagen and Aarhus, the northern city in Denmark. It takes about 45 minutes to cross half the country in one of these. They can also be booked for sightseeing trips if you want. 600 Danish crowns per nose, and then you get 10 minutes up in the sky over Copenhagen, getting to see it from whatever angle you prefer.
95 евро стоит, чтобы прокататься на самолетике, на водном. С воды взлететь.
Well, that's where the guests get to stay. Further, the pavilions were gifts from Norway, so to any Norwegians on board, thank you. You're also going to notice on our right a large white building with blue windows. These are the Maersk headquarters. Maersk is one of the largest container shipping lines in the entire world. sailing out to 123 different countries, and the building itself is meant to resemble their craft. Do you see it? Yes, you do. Containers stacked one upon another in rows upon rows. And the blue in the windows is a Maersk blue. They own this particular shade of blue for commercial use worldwide. There's also the logo of the company, visible on the construction wall surrounding the ongoing construction in there. A seven-sided white star meant to symbolize that they sail out to all seven seas. Round. So the royal family had to move, and they moved out here, where they remain, making this the Royal Palace of Denmark. In the center of the palace yard, you might just be able to make out the top of an equestrian statue depicting King Frederick V,
Королевский дворец.
who was the king behind the palace, so well as the marble church in the far back. And the marble church was a grand undertaking, mainly in that it cost. Also, if you're curious, we have a stage here on our right after all, and you feel your flat. Copenhagen Summer Dance, no less. You'll see a lot of dance performances coming up here over the following days. Now we are currently sailing through one of the cleanest harbours in Europe today due to a lot of work between WWF as well as Stroma and other authorities out here.